So far, we've added fur, we have added blobs, but we haven't yet blown the rhino up. And we're going to do that next. So we're going to go ahead and turn off the blobby lies. Wow, that's the coolest word of all time. And I'm going to go to the effect menu again, and we're going to go to the simulation category, and I'm going to put a shatter on the rhino. Now what you see here is we have a wireframe plus our artwork. You can change the view by going to the effects controls, and we can just turn this to wireframe in front view, wireframe by itself, and whatever we need to. Now, typically you won't see the artwork. The only reason we're actually seeing it because we have a duplicate layer. So I want to turn that off, and this is what you normally would see. Now, if we scrub the timeline, we're going to get a preview as to the shattering effect without the picture there. So that's what it's going to look like. The rhino is going to just come boom like this. But you might not want the explosion to have a brick shape. Fortunately, you can change that, and there's a lot of shapes to choose from. When I twirl open the shape category, I can go to pattern and change it from bricks to custom if I want to. So my own shape, I can turn it into eggs, which is kind of interesting, glass, which is always cool, hexagons, and more. So you can make puzzle pieces, whatever you want to use as the basis for your rhinoceros going kabang. So I'm going to go to glass, and I can also now go back to the view menu and go to rendered, and I can see the rhino. And then when we scrub the timeline again, we're going to see the effect occur. So I'll go ahead and scrub, and now we see that the rhino just kind of explodes into all these pieces of glass. Now, when I go really slow, you're going to see a problem here. These wedges are quite thick. Fortunately, you can change a whole bunch of the options inside of this thing. And the thickness is right here where it says extrusion depth. So I'm going to go ahead and just dial that down by scrubbing to the left in the hot text to make it a little thinner. I can even change the repetitions. So let me go ahead and just rewind here and go back to the wireframe. I can change the repetitions of the explosion effect, the direction. I can change the origin or where it will occur. I can even apply some force dynamics to it. So I can change the depth of that, the radius, the strength, and more. Whenever you see force, think of things like gravity, strength, velocity, that kind of stuff. And you'll find these kinds of things in other of the simulation category. So we can apply gradients as far as, how it's going to be smoothed out. We can choose a gradient layer. So I'll go ahead and choose the rhinoceros once again. And I'll go ahead and go back to the rendered view. And we'll manually scrub. And you see here that because we turned off the effect by adding a gradient, we really use this picture here to kind of mute the effect. So let's go ahead and turn that off. Now, when I scrub, it comes back. So sometimes you want to add certain things and sometimes you want to turn them off. And it's always good to know what it is exactly that's causing you the problem. Now, like with the blob lies or whatever the name of that thing was, we can go to the lighting and we can change it to a point source. We can change it to a distance source. And you can see the slight effect that's changing inside of the artwork. You can change the intensity of that light, as you can see here. The light color, like we did before. So once again, I'll turn it into a nice light blue. We can even change the material type. So we can change the diffuse, the specular reflection, and even the highlight. So let me go ahead and drop this down a little bit. And once again, let's go ahead and check this out. All right, so we have in slow motion created an exploding glass rhino. So that is a look at just one of the many simulations that you'll find inside of After Effects. Just go ahead and play around with them. They're really fun and they can do all kinds of cool stuff.